Hi, I'm Dawn Holly Johnson, creator of the Wildly Successful Enterprises program and author of the soon-to-be released book, What CEOs Don't Know. So let's talk a little bit more today about the 5 flawed assumptions that I've been covering in this video series. And let me remind you of what those 5 assumptions are. Flawed assumptions. Number 1, that people or everyone in your organization understand what their customers value. Number 2, flawed assumption. People, everyone in your organization, knows what part they play in delivering that value. Now, number 3 that we covered in the last video, people, which are functional experts, everyone's hired to support a particular function in an organization, are great business designers. Flawed assumption. Number 5, technology will always improve how people work. I recently released an article on LinkedIn about this, but we're going to cover that in the next video. So let's talk about number 4. People, functional experts, are great business designers. So the assumption is that just because I'm an expert in a function means I'm going to connect that function well with all the other functions in the organization, design the best processes to work by in the organization. And instead of me talking about it, I'm going to share with you a case study that proves my point, okay? So I was called in to help with a particular problem in finance. Okay, what was happening is that the monthly reporting cycle was always running long. So the executives weren't getting their financial information in a timely manner. When we're talking with people that worked in the finance department, they were quite frustrated. There was a lot of rework. There was a lot of confusion. They were tired of working really long days at the end of the month and the beginning of the new month, trying to get these reports out. And so I asked them, well, what do you think are your main issues? Well, the people that own budgets in the business aren't getting us the right information. So my first question was, well, have you trained them or given them standard comments that they can use for their budget so that you can properly put all this in your chart of accounts? Of course, that had been never thought of. So the process was very much broken down, the budgeting process, the accounting process. Now, these are finance experts, but they're really good at accounting. They're really good at reporting financials. They're really good at maybe forecasting financials. It doesn't mean they've designed the best process for the organization to help manage the financials. So we created a cross-functional team with budget owners, other people that were involved in the accounting process outside of the financial organization, and then within the financial department, the appropriate people. We walked through that process and dramatically improved it. So no longer were these reports taking sometimes to the middle of the following month to produce, but we consistently delivered them on the 3rd business day of the month. People in accounting no longer had to work arduous hours near the end of the month and the beginning of the 1st month. So they were quite happy. They had some work-life balance again. I mean, people wouldn't even take a day off during that time. They didn't dare, right? New people to the department were quite happy because they had come up to speed on the process. It was simpler to follow. The people that own budgets now had clear understanding of what to do to interact with the finance department. So everything changed dramatically. And the experts in finance, although contributing to the new design, were not the ones that designed the business to best work when it came to reporting financials. Now, this, no matter what organization I go into, big, small, doesn't matter what department, or whether I work in across multiple departments, which I tend to prefer, then but I see it everywhere. And it's because there's this flawed assumption that because you're an expert in a particular field, you're going to set up the best processes. You're going to set up the best business design for the business. That is a false assumption. So I invite you to sign up for the pre-release of my book at dawnhollyjohnson.com, What CEOs Don't Know. welcoming all of you to the future of working together. And find out more about the Wildly Successful Enterprises program, you can go to wildlysuccessfulenterprises.com. And in the next video, we're going to finalize these 5 flawed assumptions and talk about technology. So until then, be well. A like and a share is always appreciated. Take care.